G'day, my name's...
Gonna practice my reading, woman. I'm gonna come down from the mountain, gonna get me a library card. 'Cause I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows that I am. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows I am. Gonna come down from the mountain, gonna beat you at Scrabble, woman. Down from the mountain, gonna read the dictionary. Cause I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows that I am. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. I'm a mountain man. Lord knows I am.
All right, guys, welcome to the Northern Footy Show. Thanks for joining us on a not-so-balmy Sunday afternoon. We don't have any Maddie tonight, so I've got four other special guest hosts who are going to work through us for the night. So thanks for joining us, guys. We'll get to you all shortly. Before we start, it's been a massive weekend in footy. We've got the upsets. We've got things that should have gone the way they have, but there have been a couple of major upsets, and the boys have joined us tonight. So let me walk you through who we've got, boys, on the show tonight. We've got Joel Harris, upcoming absolute young superstar from Mernda, who pinched a 1-point win yesterday against Fitzroy Stars in Divi 3. Zach Hudson, we only got him on here to punish him because he turned my Bulls upside down yesterday and made a big statement up there at McLeod, which was an amazing win by them. Matty Babassis from West Preston, they have shocked second on the ladder. Banyule with a pretty big statement to get their season back on track, and Josh Bolton from Watsonia, who played his 50th game on the weekend. Boys, welcome to the Northern Footy Show.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent, boys. We're gonna jump straight into Zach, the ruckman from McLeod. Zach, thanks for coming on. You knocked off my Bulls yesterday, but hats off to you. There's no excuses there. You knocked them off with a fair bit of class, and I'm going to be honest, I just felt like you guys wanted it and needed it a little bit more than we did. You just played outstanding football, and I want to start by saying some very smart coaching at the end of the game, dropping Hurley back with about 5 minutes, took a couple of important marks and a couple of clearances. So well done on your first win for the season and a big win over Bundoora.
Yeah, no, it was huge. Like I was saying before, we definitely needed that coming. You could feel that win was coming across the last few weeks as well. So it was nice to actually get it done, and you could see the relief in the rooms as well. It was like electric in the rooms after the game. So we had so many supporters and family and friends in there, and it was just a great vibe around the club. So it was good.
I heard as I was exiting the ground to go to my other son's basketball, the crowd went bananas as the siren went. It must have meant a lot, Zach, to get that one, because you've been close a couple of times. And as I mentioned to you off air, a few coaches have mentioned to me they're not that bad of a side. It's just not really rolling their way. But you look strong everywhere yesterday, Zach, to be honest. I mean, Bundoora lost by a couple of points the week before to Banyule. You didn't look like a bottom of the ladder outfit. You look like a side that was finals bound, to be honest. He's played that well.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, but just the way we were able to move the footy yesterday as well, and our actual intent and our pressure was like top notch. I thought we've been building across that for the last few weeks, so that actual pressure to come in and just keep that pressure constant for the whole game, be able to move the ball back. Obviously, it helps when you have a star like Hurls down forward as well. You can pretty much beam up and you'll clunk anything. So.
Yeah, and he actually played pretty well. As I said, he went down back in about 7 or 8 minutes to go. They pushed him back. He kicked a goal just before that. Then they sent him back, and it was all about defending that lead. Took a couple of important marks at full back and clearances that just ensured that the win was done, which I think was 19 points at the end. What does it do for your season? I mean, going into Saturday, you're probably thinking, how do we avoid relegation? Now you're thinking if we can get 6 or 7 of these wins in the next half of the season under our belt, it's probably a good result while you're building up with kids. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, cool. Like yesterday, I think we fielded, I think it was like 6 blokes who were 18 to 19 years old, and we also had a 23rd gamer who was 17 yesterday as well, playing his first ever game. He's only played a couple of under 19 games, so for him to come in and play a really crucial role, we thought, like, obviously it's a big stage when you play your first Division 1 game, and him to come in and play the way he did was strong. And yeah, for the next few weeks, obviously it's going to be those ebbs and flows as well, but it's going to be nice and strong, and just that belief that the boys that we can actually play at top standard of footy.
The Hog boys were amazing yesterday, weren't they? And we were just talking about this before as well. Number 15 is a freak. He was everywhere, and his speed through the middle was as good as anybody's. Running off a wing, he just continuously kept running off people all day. And I don't know how many stats he had. When you get your Premier data during the week, I'll have him down for at least 30. I thought he was probably best on ground.
Yeah, no, he's a superstar. So, yeah, he's been in and out of – he's at Carlton's VFL, so he's been in and out of their team, just getting pushed out just from AFL selection and those sort of things. But I think last week he had 39 touches or something. So this week will probably be something similar. So, no, he's an absolute star, and he's humble about it as well.
He might be back in shortly. They just got done to bottom of the ladder, Preston, Carlton VFL. So that will lead that. We're going to come back to you, Zach. We're just going to quickly go through the guys and then have some good other conversations. Joshy Bolton joins us from Watsonia, who is captain and just played his 50th club game on the weekend, backed with a big win over Lorimer of 14 points. And when I say big, because it was a very important win, Lorimer are just pushing a few people like McLeod were, and they're going to start getting those over the line. But I would say, Josh, firstly, welcome to the show, and I think you're pretty safe from relegation. That talk can be put to bed for good now.
Yeah, we hope so. It was good to get a little buffer. We sort of wanted to get out of that sort of conversation. We'd come close a few times, and we were pretty disappointed last week not to come away with a win. So it was good to get back on the winners' board this week.
Yep. And yourself, you're obviously having a stellar season. You've been in the best 7 of your 9 games.
Yeah, just playing my role, really. Whatever George and the coaches asked me to do, whether it's lock down someone or play a bit higher up the ground and try and take some marks, just whatever they need me to do, really. So, yeah.
I've got a segment coming up on the show later called Who Can't Make Finals and Who's Going to Make Finals. Where do you see yourself now? Is finals still the dream?
Yeah, we think so. We think we can still push for that 5th spot. The top 4 looks to be pretty set at the moment, but if we can flip the script on some of those close losses we had, there's no reason we can't squeeze in for finals again this year.
Now, I know you've got to go shortly, and thanks for coming on, even though you only had 5 or 10 minutes to come on today, which is great. I appreciate you coming on. Watsonia, for me, is a club that lost a lot of quality in the off-season. You lost guys to other clubs, and some guys gave it away and so forth. Your young kids seem to be frequently in your best. That's got to be a good sign for Watsy moving forward, Josh.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I think the oldest guy that we had on the field yesterday was 24. And it's been like that for most of the year, really. So the whole team's really young. Everyone's in the same sort of boat. So everyone's just sort of got to step up and play a crucial role, really.
Yeah. And how's George going with everything? Is he level-headed? Is he thrown the clipboard, across anyone's head yet? Is he the cool, calm guy that he comes across to be, or is he a clipboard thrower?
No,
Matty loves it. Matty Belbassis loves this already. I reckon he loves a good clipboard thrower too.
We haven't had too many, to be fair. He tries to keep it pretty calm. It's obviously a pretty young group and pretty inexperienced. So, No, he's doing a good job with the group, and along with the assistants we got this year, it's a good mix we've got. So yeah.
How are you going injuries-wise at the club, Josh? Because the break's here next week, which is going to be awesome, and I think a lot of clubs need this break after 7 or 8 rounds.
Yeah.
How are you going for guys on the short-term or long-term injury list? How are they looking?
I think long-term we might only have 1 or 2, I believe. A few boys are a little bit sore, but for the most part we've been pretty good this year, which is nice. The last few years we've had quite a lot, so it's been a bit tough. But I think most part we're all right, but it'd be good to get a few boys rested up over the break and then come back for a big second half of the year.
Now, you'll probably watch this back after because I know you're going to leave and go to something shortly. But in my segment, Who Can't Make Finals, I've written in WA. I haven't finished writing it. You're on the cusp. I don't think you can afford to drop a cheap one. I think you need to pretty much get cracking and doing it. I actually really surprised by what's on you this year. I've got to be honest, at the start of the season, I thought you probably lost too much power in the guys that left, and I thought it would be really tough, but you guys have turned it around, and it shows I know absolutely bugger all about football. But you guys are really starting to make a couple of statements, and you've been competitive in a lot of games, Josh.
Yeah, that's the thing. We feel like we've been there the whole time, but we have sort of 10, 15-minute lapses that can cost us the game. It probably just comes with the inexperience, but if we can sort of get those things right, there's no reason we can't knock off a few upsets in the second half of the year.
And we talk about the ladder when we come to your division. I mean, I know you guys are sitting 8. As I'm looking at the other screen, you're only sitting on 10 points, but you're only 10 points off 5th. And this is why I couldn't drop you out of the equation because, you know, if Thomastown or St Mary's drop a couple more and you win those couple or you play again, you beat both of those, you're a serious finals chance. And in this division this year, it's just so open. It'll be great experience either way.
Yeah, that's it. It's very open. It's anyone's to grab, really. I think the second half of the year should be pretty interesting. All
right. Well, Josh, I know you're going to go, so I'm going to let you jump out whenever you're ready. And I appreciate you coming on. I wish you the very best for the rest of the season, and keep those winning ways going, and keep staying in the best like you are.
Too easy, mate. Thanks for having me.
Good on you, buddy. All right, guys, we're going to move forward again. We're going to leave Joel. We're keeping you to last. You're the youngest. We're going to have to make you wait the longest. So I don't think you'll mind that too much. But at the same time, let's have a quick chat to Matty Babassis. Am I pronouncing that right, Matt?
It's pronounced Belbasis.
Oh, Belbasis. I get it wrong every week, mate. Like I think there's a little sound for this. Every week I get it wrong. Every single week. Thanks heaps for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it. What a huge win yesterday. For West Preston to knock off Banyule, I think you would have been about $26 on Sportsbook to get that victory. But as I said to you off air before the show, you played Bundur a couple of weeks ago and you kicked like 419 or 417 against us, who, you know, probably kicked the opposite of that. I didn't think, again, yous were a bad side. I actually just thought it didn't come together. And I'm used to West Preston Lakeside being bloody hard to beat at their home ground. So you guys have the makings of it all. You have a good coach. You seem to have good camaraderie going on there, but it was just a matter of everything happened and come together yesterday, Matty?
Yeah, I think, like I said to you earlier, we've had some really good performances. Probably the two or three anomalies were North Heidelberg, where we got pantsed. And then virtually every other game, we've played really well for majority of the game. And the two games that come to mind against Hurstbridge and the Greensboro, we were leading halfway through the last quarter in both those games, and then they got overtaken. So it was a similar story yesterday, but from experience, we finished the job, which was really pleasing because Banyule kept coming at us. And felt like the last quarter was never going to end, but we got the job done. So proud of the boys and the playing group, coaching group. It was excellent.
I typically think when you're playing away, Matty, and all of you boys, when you're playing away, you're sort of 2 goals behind. That's how I always looked at it when I was playing footy and playing away from home. Banyule has got to be a couple of goal advantage there. You know, it's a bit of a different ground to your ground, Matty. So, you know, it's a different setup there. But, you know, you guys have won by 19 points against someone who's, you know, last week I said they could nearly come up as one of the favourites for winning the flag. That's a huge win for your club. What does this do for your season for you?
For the season, obviously that cliche, we like to keep it 1 week at a time, but definitely you get fueled belief from these types of performances and like finishing the job. Me personally, I've believed in our group since the Greensboro game, round 1. I've just thought, like, wow, all that work in the preseason and everything that we are learning under our senior coach and other coaching staff, and just like you said, the camaraderie that we've built this year from a couple of experienced guys, but mostly younger guys. I think don't put a limit on it. Let's just keep going week to week and keep improving, and then let the results take care of themselves.
And as vice captain, what's your role there? You got a lot of younger kids in this side as well. There's a lot of kids getting bled through Division 1, 2, and 3 this year. What's your role as a vice captain? Is to try and keep those guys up when it's down? Because belief it's something you've got to really get into your brain and keep it there.
Yeah. Well, individually, my strength is just being consistent. So I like to think that I lead by example with that. Like, whether we lose or whether we win, the high days or low days, we all go through motivation dips and so forth. But we've got to be consistent in our development and growth, because, like, footy can change week to week very quickly. So if you stay consistent in your process, training and so forth, recovery, etc. Last week we got pumped by 100 points against Heidelberg, and this week we stayed consistent on the track and we just knocked off a 6-1 team. Which is massive. Yeah. So, like huge. I said, it's just fueled us with belief. And some other roles as vice captain is obviously leading by example, but then just sort of fueling the younger guys with belief, and also supporting our co-captains and our coaches as well, because we all working together, us leaders and us coaches. And then just all these young guys that are getting, their first taste of Division 1 senior footy, just fueling them with belief, everything they do in the reserves or the 19s, if they're having a strength in that level, they can bring that strength to senior footy.
100%. What was the coach's words after the game?
Oh, it's probably a bit MA rated, but no, he was so proud of us, and just reflected on the week and our process, and how, some guys needed to taper off at training. Some guys needed to push themselves, to maintain their selection after a loss like last week. And the fact that all 23 of us with the under 19s man yesterday, all contributed, he just couldn't be prouder of us. And we just want to keep building on momentum, because one thing that we knew at the start of the year is going to be a little bit like this. Yep. However, that win against a top team just solidifies that, we're no joke. We can beat anyone on our day. So we just got to keep building, keep consistent.
And we'll talk about this a little bit later in the show, because it's going to be relegation in Div 1 is going to be tough. One of 3 very good sides is going to go down with a really proud history. It's going to be tough for one club this year, really, really tough. But the gap, you've got to be playing your best side every week and going for it. Before we move over to Joel, Matty, when I was at the Bundoora game, I tried to, as the Northern Footy Show, get to both huddles. The one thing I was really impressed with your coach at 3/4 time at the Bundoora game is he still believed you could win it. I think you were 44 points down and he was still talking like you're going to win it. I love that stuff, because, if a coach believes in you that much, that really resonates back to the players as well. I mean, you're having a great season. You're playing good footy. And if you can pass that on to the guys, it's huge. You must love having a coach that believes in you that much, to be 44 points down at 3/4 time.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. It's like, never say die attitude, always give your best no matter what. And like, that's just about footy. That's about everything. So the fact that he can say that, and, at a time like that, but also during the week at training, it's like that's where you need that motivation on a cold winter Melbourne night.
Oh yeah.
So and then obviously that will keep carrying into Saturday game day.
Yeah, I reckon it contributed a lot to there. He's a pretty good footballer in his own right as well. We'll come back to you in a sec. We're going to move on to the young star of Division 3, Joel Harris. Try and keep a straight face here, Joel. I reckon the comments are going to start coming. All the young kids get on with the comments pretty quick. You might get bombarded here, but Joel, well done. Yesterday for me was a very important part. I actually tipped Fitzroy Stars. I'm surprised Fletch hasn't thrown some piece of dynamite through my front window or something by now. I thought the Stars were going to be stronger going into that game. But, you know, you guys are flag favourites for a reason. 1 point you got up by. And I think there was a stage you were down by 19 points, was it?
Yeah, we were down by that at one stage. And then 3/4 time we were down by 9 points. So, yeah, to come back and get the win, showed a bit of character and how much we're willing to fight and win games when they're on the line.
And let's not gloss it over, Joel. You're having a stellar season. You're regularly in the best. Are you 18 or 19?
19.
19. So at 19, you're regularly in the best in Division 3. You're being noticed pretty hard. Quite often people are telling me he should be playing, you know, another division or two up. So the goal has to be for the flag this year. Don't put any other spin on it. Don't give me any of these Matty and Zach cliches. They mean nothing at your age. At your age, you're just going to say, yep, stuff it, we're going for gold. And this is the year Moonda has set themselves for. You got Nipper coming back maybe the week after the bye. Kyle came back this week. How did Kyle Yankos play on the weekend?
Yeah, they're all down back. They're all pretty good down there. They play their roles as a back six. They're pretty strong. So, but no, Kyle, they stand up when they need to.
Who was the standout yesterday for you guys?
Probably Josh Mazzarella, Billy Christian Evans. It was good all game last week as well. We've thrown him into the pardon.
He was in the best. Yep.
Yeah. We've thrown him into the middle now, and he's just really taking his game to another level in there. And then Mazza again in the last quarter just stood up when we needed him to, and he's done that for a few weeks now. So he's playing some really good footy.
There's a big difference getting him back from Thomastown this year, slotting straight back in. He knows most of the boys. He's slotted in pretty well. But, I mean, you guys are setting yourself, you know, Fletcher will be one that tells you regularly you don't win a flag in April, May or June. You really got to start setting yourselves. He's had a lot of injuries early. I think he's had 11 or 12 out in round one. Some other guys are winning and losing a few, like, you know, old Paradians, and then you've got Fitzroy Stars now have dropped one to you. Old Eltham's dropped a couple. So it is really, really tight, and you're back to being not back to be. You've always been premiership favourite. It's just that another couple will be with you. What's different this year than last year? I know that's a bit of a difficult question, but something's clicked this year.
Yeah, I think last year we were going to the season. We finished pretty low the year before that. So it was just more of a whatever happens type of year. And we were playing and enjoying our footy, and we made it, or we finished top of the ladder and whatnot. But then this year we've come in, everyone's obviously talking about like we should be up there and that. So I think we've put a bit of pressure on us at the start of the year to perform to a level that we think everyone's holding us to. But now within ourselves, we know that when we're enjoying our footy, like we're all young kids, best mates. So we know when we're enjoying our footy, they're going to play our best footy. And that's shown over the last couple of weeks, really, like the close game against Kilmore, and then obviously another close finish yesterday. So, I think we're at a stage now, where we're just enjoying it and just loving what we do.
And what's changed in your game this year? Last year was your first senior game, wasn't it?
No, I played a couple games a year before. And then
I remember seeing your dad present you your jumper in the rooms on a little bit of a video, which was a good moment. So tell me what's changed in your game. What have you learned about senior footy in the year and a bit you've been in it, year and a half you've been in it?
I just think that at the start, I was probably used to getting a bit more of the ball in 19s and that, and then coming into it and not having the impact. I was thinking like I'm not up to the standard. But once you get the trust within the boys, they start trusting you, and you can play your own footy. They'll give you the ball, and you'll be just playing off instinct, really, and that's how you want to play. And then obviously with the older boys there, like Nipper's come this year as a midfield coach. He's been huge for us, even though he's not on the field yet. Jakey Bennett as well. He's been huge again from Bundoora. And even last year, like our captains, Billy Morrison came over So that was his first year with us. They've always been huge, and just listening to them, learning off them, and yeah, it's been good. Yeah.
Let's talk about the results from Divi 3. Jump into it, boys, straight away. So Epping 19-9-1-23 defeated Reservoir 9-3-57. That's somewhat expected. Reservoir's in a rebuilding phase. There's no doubt about that. Mernda 10-7-67 beat the Stars 10-6-66. And I reckon, you've got a couple of good players to come back yet, so that's going to be an interesting one. And you played against a very strong side there with the Proctors, the Burns, and even Neville Jetty yesterday. So you played against some bloody good footballers, let me tell you. Ivanhoe kicked a great score. Shane Bonners isn't on here because Bonners reckons Ivanhoe don't kick enough, but they kicked 11-19-85 to knock off Kilmore, who have been no slouch. They've been thereabouts at 7-10-52. Solid win. Laylaw 8-5-53 were defeated by King Lake. 9-11-65, and Old Paradians 8-10-58 beat Old Eltham Collegians, which is another statement by 4 points. That's a real top of the table clash there. Joel, you're the expert of Division 3. Any of those results set you alight? Are you scared of anyone there?
No, well, we know our best footy can challenge anyone and beat anyone. So, but as you see, every game's different. You can't pencil in any wins because anyone on their day can beat the other team. So yeah, it's good. It's a good contest every week. So yeah, we're enjoying it.
I agree with it. So tight. That division is so tight. We'll go to Divi 2 quickly. St Mary's 9-13-67 were defeated by Thomastown 11-13-79. Well done to Tomo. I actually thought they could shock St Mary's on the weekend, and they did that. St Mary's had a hard one the week before against Lorimer. Watsonia 7-13-55 beat Lorimer 6-5-41. Whittlesea 17-9-111 beat Northcote Park quite easily, 7-10-52. Diamond Creek is a bit of an upset for me, 8-9-57 defeated by South Morang, but we'll get to the ranking shortly. But South Morang's a very serious contender now. They're just behind Whittlesea for mine, and Panton Hill 16-9-105 took care of Lower Plenty pretty early, pretty easy, 6-7-43. The surprise packet for me there is definitely Diamond Creek dropping 2 in a row, flag favourites, and they probably give up that now. They won't care too much about giving up favouritism, but there's a bit of work to do there. Then we get to these two boys who made a huge difference on the weekend because there's upsets everywhere here. Banyul 8-13-61, defeated solely by Matty, he told me before the show. He took them on his own, ripped them apart, and they beat out to West Preston 12-8-80, which is a huge upset. We've spoken about that just then, but that's a fair income statement. Montmorency 16-6-102 defeated Greensborough, whose season is just right on the edge of needing to get it all back together because dropped a few now. North Heidelberg 12-11-83 took care of Hurst Bridge, 11-9-75. 8-point game. Just the doggies at home, Zach and Maddie, you will have played them. They're a bloody hard side to beat at the Kennel, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, North are good on their day, and we got pumped by them last year and earlier this year, so they're going to be a challenging team to beat in season, but also come finals time as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think if they can get their full team on the park at finals, the world's their oyster. Heidelberg, who are just a step above, if we're being totally honest with ourselves, 19-16-130 beat Eltham 2-3-15, and Eltham's no slouch team, boys. That's 18 goal win. That's fair income footy. The dominance Heidelberg's putting together, Zach. You've played them. It's a hard task, isn't it?
Yeah, it is for sure. I think they had their first game back on their normal home ground after it got renovated. Too, so I think it's looking nice and schmick at the moment. So I think they kicked away and enjoyed playing there. I think they got all G'd up, and yeah.
Might need a strategy, Matty, for Heidelberg because Vin's got a footy factory running down there with robots. He's got them absolutely sorted and depth galore. He's an amazing man and an amazing coach.
Yeah, he's a special fella, Vinny, and he's orchestrated a really good playing list. So I think to beat him, you just got to bring strong pressure around the ball.
Yeah.
And basically try and make them defend you the way you have to defend them because their ball movement's so slick.
It is.
And you know, I said to the group last week, I go, guys, we got to make them defend us as well. It's not that they're so much fitter than us. They just control the ball more, which makes you defend more, which makes you tired. So, yeah, I think definitely anyone's beatable, like everyone said here on their day. So you've got to keep feeding yourself that message. You can't think they're unstoppable because they're not. And just figure out based on your playing this, how do you take them on next time you go up against them.
I reckon both your coaches, boys, will the week of their game, they'll be spending a lot of time on Premier Data, a lot of time on the NFL side, looking at games and how they move the ball. And I watch a lot of games each week, sort of, after hours. And what I find with Heidelberg is they play amazing possession football. They take a lot of the footies out in front. They're rarely taking a chest mark. It's very pre-planned. You might have to steal the game plan off Vinny at some stage. But then we get to the shocker from Morocco is McLeod 14-11-95 in an absolute well-deserved win, as we spoke about earlier with Zach knocking off my Bulls 11-10-76. And, we're talking about Division 3 being tight. Bandura lose by a couple of points a week before. Matty and Zach and Joel to Banyul, who are, in the flag contention, and all of a sudden they lose the game to, bottom of the ladder. But doesn't matter where you are on the ladder this week or this year. As Matty just said, every game has to be on its merits. You just can't take your foot off the pedal.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't agree that injuries is an excuse, and I don't agree that, 23rd man or playing kids is an excuse either in any of these sides. I think that you've just got to put your best side on the park every single week because that one player can make a huge difference. All right, boys, we're going to get to this next segment. If anyone's got any questions, send them in to the boys. But, boys, we've done a couple little promos. We're going to talk this.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
Who can't make finals? So I'm probably going to get a bombardment of abuse out of here, but I'm going to tell you in Division 3 who cannot make the finals, okay? This will be no shock, but Reservoir, Lalor, and King Lake, in my opinion, they are done for the season. I think there's way too much work to get in there. Having a look at the ladder, you've got Reservoirs obviously winless, Lalor's 10th on 8 points, King Lake's the same. The gap between there and 4th or 5th position is, another 12 points. So they've got to gain 3 games somewhere. I reckon it's just too hard. What's your opinion on that, boys?
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. The other teams are, like I said, 3 games between that gap. So, yeah, it's made it hard for them from here.
But the top 5 sides there in Old Parade and Fitzroy Stars, Eltham, Mernda and Ivanhoe, and not even taking Epping into contention there. Like, I just don't see any of those 3 sides beating those sides. I reckon that's too hard of a task. We'll go straight into Divi 2. I think Northcote Park's done clearly. I think Lorimer's done for finals, and I've put Watts on you just the WAT. They can't afford to drop another one of those close games because then it's over. I think Watts on you'll be okay with that because it was a big rebuilding year for them at the same time. But there's still that little bit of belief that they can get it done. And whilst, you might not want to see this, Zach, when it comes to Divi 1, I think Eltham, McLeod and Bandura are done. You all just don't have enough wins on the board this year. But I tell you what, any other year you put those 3 names in a relegation fight and, oh, my God, that is going to be tough footy because all 3 sides on their day, are going to be amazing. And I just think it's going to be that tight. It could come down to percentage, boys, at the end of the year. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, we know that when you're in that sort of position, it does make it hard, and obviously it does creep in a little bit to your thoughts and everything like that as a team. But when you try and make sure you are stringing those wins together and stick to that as a team and just rely on how we are playing and trying to get those wins on the board, and hopefully can just push us along and trying to avoid that.
I think, Matty, you guys are another 2 games clear of Bandura. So it's a big difference. Those extra 2 wins are ginormous. It gets you out of the conversation of relegation straight away, and that's a nice breather to have as you bleed these kids through, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's that to and fro of, are we going to be close to the bottom, or are we going to be a chance for fifth, that top 4 or 5 spot? So, and that can play on your mind psychologically or on the playing group. But now that we've got that third win, and we can just keep focusing on our process and just focusing on who we got next. What do they do? How can we knock them off? Because I think I saw in your other episode that anywhere from like virtually first to 8th are sort of all within it. And obviously McLeod just showed that they're no walkover either.
Absolutely not.
Over Bandura. So it's basically from 1st to 10th that anyone can knock off anyone. So for us, it's motivating. It's motivating for us to be sort of looking forward. How can we keep climbing the ladder? But it's also like, all right, what have we got to do to beat Monty in 2 weeks' time?
Yep. And this is a good point, Matty, because I actually still believe West Preston can make finals. And I'll tell you why, is you're sitting 7th on the ladder with 12 points, only 2 spots away to hit the final 5 this year with North Heidelberg. They're only 2 games clear of you. So let's say a McLeod knock off a North Heidelberg and a Montmorency and a Banyule, and you knock off one of those sides. All of a sudden, that gap is 1 game. And then we start talking percentages and we're getting close to finals. Some very good sides aren't going to play finals this year. So that's going to be really tight. Let's go to the next one and let's talk about who can. We are the champion, my friend. My promos are getting worse each week, but I like them and they entertain me on a Sunday morning. So that's the main thing. Now, what I've done to try and put some perspective into this is I've put some odds next to it. I don't punt, so I don't go out punting, but I'm trying to show you the difference between the sides here. So Divi 3, Joel, I've got your red hot favourite at $1.50, but not to the point where you're $1.10 either. I reckon that, Fitzroy Stars at $1.60. I'm talking the difference that separated you on the weekend could be the difference come finals time. So I've got Fitzroy Stars second at $1.60, Old Eltham at $2.10. I think they're just that little bit further away from you guys. Ivanhoe on their day are as dangerous as anything. And Epping, bit of a smoky out there. They probably need to get a few things running right. But season by any stretch isn't over, because having a look at the ladder, they're sitting in 6 and they're only 4 points off that 4th position, of you guys. It's so close. And that's not being disrespectful to Epping. They probably need to win a couple of those other games to get there. What's your take on those odds? Are they fair odds or what, Joel?
Yeah, I think it might even be a bit closer to what you've got there, like Eltham and Ivanhoe, even Epping as well. Like, anyone can beat anyone, really. It's been shown. We've been beaten by a few of them and then beaten some of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I have made one error there. I didn't put Parade in there.
Yeah.
And I've got Parade sitting the same as Fitzroy Stars. Bit of a typo there, boys. Old Paradians for me are amazing.
Yeah, well, we've got them in a few weeks. So,
yep.
Yeah, so it'll be a good challenge for us. And we've got a tough couple of weeks coming up. So, with 3 of those teams in there. So,
yeah.
Old
Parade are going to be amazing. My mate Fletch has just he keeps me on my toes on the show. He's like my little assistant. So I told you you'd get someone through their banger that give you a little bit of love. So then we move straight over. Let's go to Divi 2 odds. So Whittlesea, I think, a red hot favourite at $1.30. I think to beat them will be tough, but South Morang for me are the second best pick there. I think they've done enough, South Morang, to earn that second favouritism. And one of the reasons is they've got 2 guys at VFL that will both come back into that side that are both dominating VFL. So at the right time of the year, they get back Kalpakis and Dintasante. That's going to be bloody tough for whoever comes up against them. So very tough. Diamond Creek, $1.80 just off the mark, but they've dropped 2 in a row. You just can't drop 2 in a row too often. You got to regroup quickly. The buys come at the perfect time for them. St Mary's, bit shaky, so I'll put them out at $3. Thomastown $3.50, and you can work out the rest, but pretty close there. Let's get into Divi 1. So Divi 1, Heidelberg $1. I don't know who's knocking them off. everyone's beatable on their day, and I can see you having a bit of a giggle there, Zach. It's pretty hard to go anywhere but $1.01. They'd be unbackable at Sportsbook, surely, Matty. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, I think they are beatable, but I can understand why they're that favourites because of what they've won like 20 something in a row. But
yep, going for a three-peat.
Yeah. I think they're definitely beatable. It's only a matter of time before teams catch up, So yeah, that's my thoughts.
I don't think Fletcher's real happy. He wants Bonners back. He said this wouldn't happen, these sort of mistakes and odds with Bonners on the show. Bit raw. His wife said he wasn't allowed to play tonight, Fletch. I can't make up all the rules here, mate. Then we go to Hurstbridge. Hurstbridge, for me, are the second best side in the comp at the moment. $2, and that's a big gap from $1 and back. But Hurstbridge, to get those odds down, we'll just have to get real close to Heidelberg there. Montmorency, $2, Banyule, $2.50, North Heidelberg, $2.75. And from there, who knows, guys? It could be absolutely anything. I just think it's that tough a year. Tell me, boys, we'll start with you, Zach. Zach, what do you want to achieve from the remainder of your season now? And who is the best player you've played on this year?
It's obviously we do want to get a couple more wins and everything like that, and just be strong and consistent, and just get that belief towards our younger boys as well, and just show that all this hard work does it for a reason, and just to get those more wins, just to stay nice and comfortable as well. But now there's been a few good players this year. Can't really single anyone out. It's obviously Division 1 for a reason, so you're playing top quality players every week and everything like that. But there's a few hopping around each different team that you play against, and you're just like, wow, they're a good player. But yeah, can't really pick anyone single-handedly. There's probably a handful, but yeah.
I'll help you out. I thought you and Mick Antonella had a great battle yesterday. What do you think?
Yeah, good battle, and obviously I think we're around sort of the same sort of young age, so it was good to have a nice little battle yesterday.
Battle of the Tools. Now, Matty, tell me about you. We've just spoken. Finals is still an opportunity, in my opinion, for West Preston. You're still thereabouts, and it's going to be a bit of a not a struggle. It's going to be a battle. You're going to have to continue to fight hard with a bit of grit. And so, tell me, where is that your goal? Is that where you're heading? And who's the best player you've played on this year?
Yeah, like we just want to focus on growing every week at West. Like that finals conversation is obviously exciting. But at the end of the day, we've only still got 3 wins on the board. We've got more losses than wins. So we want to keep converting, keep growing, and keep converting, obviously, our wins every opportunity we get. And then I think that sort of latter part of the year will give us some more tell of that. But definitely this next 4-week block or these next 4 games, it's just about growing and how do we string together a performance like Banyule and many other of our games to continue to convert wins, because we know we can do it. Yeah. And then best player to play on, I've played on. I don't know. There's a few good ones. Like I play half back, so I rotate on different forwards and mids. So who's played well? I mean, obviously Heidelberg good. He's my mate Jono Tomasiello. He's on Collingwood's VFL list. Played on him last week prior. He's a little gun. So
did you beat him, Matty?
I think we went tit for tat. Like as
Heidelberg should get on the phone to you.
As Heidelberg got more on top, it was harder. Because when a team is dominating with the ball in hand, it becomes a lot harder in your one-on-ones as well, because they get first-class ball use. But Heidelberg definitely got some of the best players I've played on. But there's some other good players rolling. You can't underestimate anyone, mate. Like
pretty tough.
Yeah. Even from the bottom of the ladder to the top of the ladder, you got to be on your A game every single time. Yeah, there.
Yep. I agree. Anyone can sort of towel anyone up on the day, can't they?
Yeah.
Joel, talk to me, mate. Top of the ladder. Out of all these boys on here, you're top of the ladder. Well, if you're not top of the ladder, you're favourite to win the flag. But I got no dirt on Rob Fletcher this week. Generally, your dad's good for some dirt if I've got you involved here. So he must have had a pretty hard word to him, Fletch. You got any dirt for me on your coach?
No, nothing on Fletch really. I was speaking to him before about it, and no, nothing on me old man or him. So far.
Is that because they made you do push-ups like crazy one day for
Oh
what your
yeah,
dad did?
yeah. If I'll keep my mouth shut, and they might look after me. So
I think Fletch loves you, mate. There's no mistake about that. So, what's the plan? It's got to be a grand final, doesn't it, Joel?
yeah, for sure. That's what we're looking towards. But we know that, like I said before, any team can take that. But yeah, we know our best footy will challenge it, and hopefully that's what we're looking forward to. We've got a few big players coming back over the next couple of weeks, and towards the end of the season, Captain Gussie, he's coming back next week. So that's a bit of experience. And Nipper, and then Billy Morrison towards the end of the year. So that's a fair
They're
bit
three
of
big ends, aren't they?
well.
There's a lot of experience there. And who's your toughest player this year, Joel? Who's keeping you honest? Who's giving you one of those cheap punches under the armpit? You watch Matty all laugh at this because I've seen him dish a couple out. Who's been your toughest opponent this year?
Probably some of the bigger names. Like I've obviously played on a few ex-AFL players in McCaffrey and Jetta yesterday, and then Fitzroy's midfield yesterday was pretty stacked in there. So, but every team's got the guns that run through and play some good footy, so you got to look out for them. But yeah.
Well, boys, we're going to wrap the show up. I'm going to leave it with this. Zach, well done on an amazing win yesterday. You deserve all the credit that goes with it. You've played unbelievable, and I truly wish you the best for the rest of your season. And it's going to be a huge fight in Division 1 against those bottom three sides to who holds on. But you showed yesterday that there's every reason why you can not be in that relegation discussion pretty quickly, and keep up the good work there. Matty, same with you guys. Finals is a path. I think you are quite a good side. I think that you can match it with all of the other sides. On your day, you can get it together as well. And I think you're in for a really good next part of the season, next third of the season. So enjoy the break over this week. And Harrow, for you, it's real simple, mate. Stay at the top for as long as you can. You're 19. You've got a long career left in you, and you're playing amazing football, mate. Is your old man hard on you after a game or not?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Yeah, he tells me everything I did wrong. So, but no, it's good. Gives me something to work on.
You tell him next time you see him that I said you've got him covered.
Oh, that's sweet. I'll let him know.
All right, boys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you being part of it. You're all having an amazing impact on NFNL footy this year, and I wish you the very best. And I'm sure I'll see you again before the end of the season.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, boys. See you later.